SHOT Show 2022 in Las Vegas with Nick of Safeline Defense Body Armor. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. How are you? Pleasure to meet you, Stuart.
Very good, and well, you don't know if that's a pleasure yet, brother.
So far it is.
So far I've started off bad. I didn't bring you a cappuccino or a coffee, so
I'm all good.
I'm already batting 1,000. So we just met, literally. A couple of my guys stumbled into your booth yesterday, and we had a quick chat with Manny, who I think, if not already, he should be elevated to at least 3 stripes. Give him that sergeant position if he hasn't already earned it. And that there's a whole goofy story behind that we don't need to get into. But yeah. So you're the founder, the CEO. You started this company, correct?
Yes, founder, CEO of Safe Life Defense, and design pretty much all the products that you see here.
Okay, very good. What's your background, if you don't mind?
So I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. I went to college for criminal justice, always wanted to be in law enforcement, but business has really always been something that pulled me to it, especially inventing things as well. So it wasn't really a conscious decision to make body armor for law enforcement. I think it was just a subconscious thing to pull me back to my roots, and I've been loving it.
Well, with what we got going on somewhere in the building, maybe we need to don some of this body armor real quick. Maybe the anti-stab stuff. So with that said, so no actual professional experience in law enforcement. However, you got the education, probably have a degree, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would say my real strong suit is identifying problems and finding really innovative ways to solve them.
Okay, very good. And you're based in Las Vegas now?
Yep, right out of Las Vegas.
Born and raised, or professionally been here for a while?
Originally from New York, and then moved here about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And started Safe Life here.
You haven't quite shaken the verbiage there, the New York twang, just a little bit, just a slight hint of it still. Yeah, they haven't beaten it out of you yet here on the West Coast just yet. So, when did you start Safeline?
So Safe Life was started, I believe, in 2016. Okay. So we're going on about year 6 now.
Now, did you have body armor experience before in any way, shape, or form?
I didn't have body armor experience. Really, this was something that just piqued my interest. I put a ton of research into body armor, all the engineering behind it, started building it for fun, and it was something that just really clicked, and since then it's been my life.
What was you mentioned you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. What are some of the prior things you've been involved with?
Oh, I mean, this is, we're talking all the way back, being in 3rd grade, running a school store out of my desk, to being 12 and making a baseball training device that kind of paid for whatever I was looking to do. In my next ventures, I've done even nightclub hosting and limo services, and all of that is
a number of business.
I've had a wide variety of experience, all of which really helped lead to this, and something I'm really proud of.
Yeah, very good. Now, so let's go ahead. What was your first article of body armor that you used? And you've mentioned, you started getting into it. So were you building body armor out of cardboard? And I mean, kind of like the Hong Kong variety of the alleged body armor. I'm just popping off with that. Yeah. But yeah, what was your first piece?
So the first thing that we made, actually, if you want to come see it over here, would be our 3A armor in the concealable model. When we first started, we're missing a strap here, a couple straps actually. When we first started, we really had our concealable armor in like 4 different sizes. From there it really grew, and we started putting a lot of research into developing other sizes so we can get officers a custom fit without having to have the custom weight. From there, we really stepped it up and developed our 3A Plus, which is one of the most protective soft armors on the planet, defending against handguns, shotguns, strikes, slashes, stabs, tasers, and even typically armor-piercing ammunition like Liberty Civil Defense and the Hotter FN57, and that's what's in all of these vests here. Since then, we have come out with a bunch of different carriers for different purposes, and many other things as well.
Okay, very good. Now, you mentioned it's rated 3A+. Obviously, NIJ doesn't do technically 3A+, or they don't think they do.
Yeah, the plus is really more of a marketing term to signify that it has that extra strike, slash, stab, taser, and AP protection.
And the AP that you were just you mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, they haven't gone to where they actually give a certification for that, where they kick it
No,
in.
they don't do things like that. But we want to make sure that whatever we develop isn't limited by the levels that are out there, but are what are going to help innovate and pull the industry forward.
Don't try to hit the mark. Try to hit the mark a little higher or a little deeper.
And that's exactly why we also developed our flexible rifle armor at a totally unique level that really doesn't have much to do with the NIJ other than making sure we're within the levels of the safety margins that they present. So
and I'm sorry to jump in, but that flexible body armor or the flexible rifle armor, was that the next key item that you developed?
Yeah, I would say that would be the next one. And we have a bunch of people over there, but Manny, could you grab me the fraps, please? Of course. So, this is our flexible rifle armor in a plate form. So you do have that bend, and it'll conform to your body in whatever way is needed. This was developed specifically for law enforcement and the threats that they're most likely to come across. So this is rated for 223, 5.56, and 7.62 by 3.9, including 5.56 green tips. So pretty much whatever comes out of an AR-15 or AK-47. So that allows us to have a level that is their most common threats, without having to sacrifice the additional weight, thickness, and cost of a full level 3 vest that's just not really going to be as needed. The real thing that we want to focus on is making practical armor that can be worn, because if you're not wearing it, it does nothing for you.
Now, those rifle calibers that you just recited, those are all ball type rounds or the green tip, correct?
The green tip as well, yeah.
Yeah, we've had experiences in the past where we've had really hot soft point loads, like almost hunting loads. Oddly enough, and I don't know if you've found this in any of your testing, oddly enough, sometimes you get more penetration out of some of those rounds. And again, that's usually on strike plates. But
I typically don't see that, but depending on how armor is constructed, there's so many different types of armor, so many different methods that, and each of them kind of function in a very different way. Each type of ammo functions a little differently as well, so sometimes you see some interesting stuff.
And there's really a baseline that we have to work with when we're going for the NIJ certification. Now, this is NIJ certified?
So this one is an NIJ certified because it's not even an NIJ level, nor really something that they recognize. So this is kind of one of the examples of where we developed something for a need that was out there, and we follow all the NIJ standards. Basically what we do is we test this to 3A using 3A soft armor standards, but instead of using 44 Magnum, we're throwing 223 and 7.62 by 3.9 rounds at it instead. So we use all the same standards as soft armor, just with rifle threats.
Right. Now, on this soft rifle armor, I'm looking at it, and I'm a little familiar with a number of manufacturers over history that have done something like that. We'll just toss out, not to muddy any water, but one of the original ones was the Pinnacle dragon skin.
Yep.
There's some other manufacturers that are doing that. Obviously, Pinnacle is kind of a toasted company at this point. It's gone. Well, I don't know. I think it tries to resurrect every once in a while, but. I'm looking at your soft panel there, your flexible, and it doesn't appear to be overlaid in the similar fashion that the discs would have been. And it appears to have, am I correct, is it a hexagonal pattern?
Yeah, it does have
a shape rather on your tiles?
Yeah, so the tiles are a hexagonal pattern, and they have a very unique proprietary shape to them that really allows it to have an increased level of flexibility, as well as having a thinner tile and really mitigating those edge shots as well. So we can do away with overlapping tiles altogether. That allows us to have a better adhesion to the backing material. It also significantly reduces weight, because if you have a 25% overlap on your tiles, you got a lot of extra weight there. So I mean, we've done an extreme amount of testing with this, of course. I mean, even if this is flexed at an extreme angle and you're going for any sort of gap, there's just nothing that can get through.
Could we take it over to your counter here? May I?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, very good. I'm kind of one-hand this. I don't have my camera guy right now. But so I'm curious, and not to get anything that might be proprietary, but I guess it would be easy enough if somebody really wanted to, they could cut it up. But are you using an adhesive inside to keep things together? Is there an overlap? Is there an interlocking, like a key method, or?
No, that's all totally unnecessary due to the shape of the tile itself, and that's what allows it to really be that lightweight and that flexible.
Okay. Now, do we risk? And I'm sorry to jump in, but do we risk? I think you mentioned, I don't know what you would call it, like a seam. Say on your tile pattern, if you were to get around to hit right, where your tiles are joining together, is there a risk of penetration, or is there some method that you have to avoid that?
It doesn't matter what angle it is. It doesn't matter how much it's flexed. We have never been able to get around through it, nor has anybody else.
Wow.
It's just not something that's an issue, and that really comes down to that tile design.
Right.
That is really important.
Okay. Now, do you offer? Well, I guess maybe I should. Well, then let's stick with this, since I'll cover as much as I can about this. Do you offer this in a wrapped version, or is it strictly coming out in a traditional plate shape?
This is the easiest, just the easiest one to handle, but we actually came out with our full vest size before the plates.
Okay.
Because this was developed to be worn on a daily basis for law enforcement officers, and because it...
Insert it into your strike pocket or something like that, along with your 3A, correct?
You don't need the 3A with it. It's really designed to be worn on its own. If you wear it in front of a 3A, then you get full level 3 plus protection. But really, it's designed to be that standalone. This one is the easiest one to handle. But we started out fast in full vest form.
Okay. Now, I guess if I'd been at this angle, I would have kind of answered my own question. Sorry about that.
No problem at all. No, because it's just easier to kind of show it in the plate form.
Yeah.
But because this plate is lighter than most ceramic and especially steel plates, it allows us to make a full vest version, giving you significantly more coverage without sacrificing, without having to take on any additional weight. So typically, a full vest setup has the coverage of about 5 rifle plates, but has about the same weight. So that makes it something that's very comfortable and easy to wear. And because it conforms to your body, when it's in its carrier, it actually distributes the weight. It distributes the weight evenly across the body instead of hanging from your shoulders, making the felt weight even less.
Okay, very good. Frankly, I can't think of much more about this particular model or this particular item that you're carrying. You call this the FRAS?
Yep, FRAS stands for Flexible Rifle Armor System.
Yeah. Now, of course, this, I just noticed that's an actual 3A, so a different material that's more, that's not your hexagonal tiles.
Yeah, this is kind of what was in all those vests over there.
Right.
So this is handgun, shotgun, strike, slash, stab, taser, and typically armor-piercing ammunition.
So it looks pretty darn thin, quite frankly.
Yeah, and this is definitely this has been our most popular version. It offers the most protection. It's got our self-structured panels, so it distributes that weight, but also really helps with airflow. We're based out of Las Vegas, and everything we have is built for Vegas heat. So what we often hear about this is that this is the most comfortable armor that anybody has ever worn.
Okay. And do you actually get some airflow through the panel? I mean, you mentioned airflow. You're talking. So we're talking about using that traditional, like a honeycomb barrier to help move the armor away from your skin.
Yeah.
Correct?
So all of our carriers have mesh backing along the side that helps with airflow.
Okay.
But with this having that structure, it doesn't lead to what we call Kevlar cling, like you're wrapped in Saran wrap, and it doesn't matter if you have mesh. If it's that close, it will make you hot. So these panels really help not have that cling and really promote that airflow.
You avoid that sweatsuit, that sweatsuit type
Absolutely.
thing, or the I don't know, the wrapping thing that whatever nut jobs do.
Yeah.
Now you've got something a bit thinner than this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
correct?
it's something that we are just releasing. It's currently on pre-sale. Let me see if I can grab that for you real quick. Excuse me, guys.
I can show you the front.
Thank you.
And this is Hyperline. Hyperline is our new 3A armor. We set out to make the thinnest 3A vest on the planet, and I think that that's something that we achieved. This is only 0.18 inches thick, which is really a groundbreaking thickness.
2 minutes. Go ahead.
It is 100% Barrett compliant, made right here in Las Vegas, and it's just an incredibly thin and comfortable armor.
And this is 3A?
That's 3A.
Okay. Well, you and I are going to have to talk about this because if this is 3A, brother, you're going to definitely want to try some of that out. So listen, Nick, anything else that you might have kind of up and coming, what have you?
So we have a few other things that we can go through really quick. Our duty belt's always extremely popular. We customize all this webbing so that it eliminates all sagging, curling, and a whole bunch of things. These, there's a ton of those out there. People say it's the most comfortable belt they've ever worn, that all the weight from their hips disappear. We have our new line of duty pouches to go with it. It has our Hyperlock system, which mounts to virtually anything. It comes in a variety of different pouches. We have our new gloves that are have a super high abrasion resistance and air mesh, and a line of cleaning products.
And I've used, not yours, but I've actually used a cleaning system on some armor. Nick, listen, I know we got to jump here. Absolute pleasure to meet you, and look forward to talking to you very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Take care, brother.